Is my Walt Disney World vacation going to be canceled? Maybe, maybe not. But either way, I'm ready to talk about Walt Disney World. Welcome to the Average Me channel. I'm Mark, and if you're new to the channel, I'm going to ask that you click my face in the corner to subscribe and click that bell icon up above. That way you won't miss new videos. I'm getting a little nervous. As of this recording, we're about 10 days away from the end of the month, and that's when Walt Disney World is supposed to reopen. I'm not sure it's going to happen, but I've got my fingers crossed. Why? Well, I have a couple of vacations planned down in Orlando next month. Actually, 2 weeks. 1 week specifically for Walt Disney World. I'll be staying on property, I hope. And the other week I just have other things to do down there, and I plan on stopping by the park for 3 or 4 days. And I was really planning on doing a lot of videos while I'm down there and bring you along for the trip. It may or may not happen, but regardless, I'd like to talk about Walt Disney World. It's a little tough to ignore what's going on in the world right now, and I don't mean just Disney World, but the entire world. But we don't have to stress on it, and we don't have to panic about it. We can still have a little bit of fun and enjoy ourselves. So I thought I would do a little right down the middle video and talk about some of the germiest places at Magic Kingdom. And the one I'm going to start with is probably the most obvious, and that is when we first enter the park and we have the Fingerprint Scanner. We've all done it. You know, you have to take your magic band and scan that, and then you put your finger down and you have to scan that. And every single person that enters a park touches that. Now, they're only touching it with one finger, but usually it's our dominant pointer finger. That's why we selected that finger, and that finger touches everything. I read recently, you know, in light of what's happening, that the average person touches their face about 33 times every hour. You know, that's rubbing your nose, your mouth, you know, whatever you're doing. You touch your face area. So everybody is touching that thing, and then you are wiping your face. So I think that Fingerprint Scanner is probably one of the germiest places in all of Magic Kingdom, because everybody touches it. Number 4 is any attraction queue handrail. You look at those handrails and everybody touches them, they lean on them, but what's worse is when the little kids come up that are just at that height and they will lean on them, they'll lick them, they'll put their mouths on them, everybody touches and leans on them. And I just kind of shudder when I think of all the germs that are on that handrail. Now, under normal circumstances, you know, we do have an immune system, but during these times, boy, I want to be a little more aware of whether or not I'm touching those handrails, and even if I need to. Number 3, we're getting into the fun areas now. The Crypt area in the queue for Haunted Mansion. That is a lot of fun. It has a lot of interactive things going on. You can press your hand onto the crypt and it plays different musical notes. You can play that piano keyboard. At one spot, you're pushing the books and books get pushed in, another one gets pushed out, and there's different patterns to do that. There's so much interactive stuff going on there. But as a result, the majority of the people that go through there are touching that, and hands are getting on everything. I hope I'm not grossing you out, but really think about that next time. It's okay to touch those things, but do you have some wet wipes? Do you have some hand sanitizer to use afterwards? Give it a little thought. The next one is kind of similar. In the queue for Winnie the Pooh ride, they have the interactive Hunny Wall. And it's really cool because you go by there and you can put your hand on it and you can actually wipe the honey aside and you can see the different characters behind there. But it's the same thing. Every person in that queue is touching and putting their hands on and leaving germs behind. Next, we're going to look at the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train ride. That is an awesome ride. It always has a really long queue, so as a result, they have a lot of things going on. It's a really interesting interactive queue if you've never been to it. For example, they have the barrels with all of the gems and jewels in there, and if you spin them, you look on the ceiling, you can see characters doing different things. Really clever and really neat. But as a result, it encourages everybody to touch that. There are touch screens where you can look at all the different jewels. There are so many different interactive things going on. They're really interesting, but they do require us to touch things, to spin things, to swipe things. And as a result, everything that we touch that day is being transferred from one thing to another, including touching our face and then transferring it to that item, or touching that item and transferring it to our face. So have an awareness when you do that. And the number one germiest place, in my opinion, in Magic Kingdom is Mickey and Minnie. Now, we love to meet the characters, and the reason that I'm singling out those characters is I think they're the most iconic, they're the most lovable, and when people get in line to meet those characters, they touch them, they hug them, they kiss them, little kids grab the nose, and there are fingers on everything. Now, I don't know how frequently they clean the gloves, how frequently they clean and wash their faces, but I do know that the 3, 4, 10, 15 people in front of us have all touched. And even when they're going on their cheese break, if they do take that time to wash the gloves and wash their face, there were still a lot of people in between. Everybody touches Minnie and Mickey and all of the characters. So that's my list of the germiest places in Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom. The point of this wasn't to gross you out or disgust you or make you frightened about doing all this. It was just to have a little lighthearted fun at the same time, creating a little bit of awareness. The whole thing is just keep your hands clean. Pretty simple. Wash with soap and water whenever you go into the restrooms. Use some wipes and use some of the hand sanitizer. So what do you think? Did I miss some? I'd love to hear your comments down below of what you think are some of the germiest places. While you're at it, why don't we look at some of the cleanest places too? Because while we can't say this is a good thing, what's happening right now, it is creating awareness. And I think as a result, we're going to be just a little cleaner and a little more sanitary moving forward. As always, I encourage you to like and share the videos. Leave your comments down below. If you haven't already, please subscribe by clicking my face in the corner and ring that bell icon up above so you know when I post new videos. Here's keeping my fingers crossed that I'll be at Walt Disney World in 3 weeks. I'm Mark, and this is the Average Me Channel.